All right. So normally when I take you down nostalgia lane, we're talking about anime or something of that nature. Today, I'm going to take you back in time and ask you, everyone here, a quick question. And after I state what mine was, of course. Any console, any generation, any feature to the console or accessory, authorized for the console, what was your guys' favorite? For me, personally, I would have to think it's a toss-up between the 4 ports on a N64 or the ability to play DVDs on the PlayStation 2, which I thought was fucking just amazing at the time.
Yeah, definitely 2 good choices.
Mine would have to be... It was an accessory in a game. And it was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic and Knuckles, where you could put the games together and play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as Knuckles. I thought that was the shit.
Yeah, the little plug-in, the 2-game thing. Yeah, that was cool as fuck.
Yeah, and then of course you'd have the Sega Genesis. You'd have the original Sega, but the Genesis that hooked into the top of the actual Sega is like, alright.
Oh, the X32, and then you also had the Sega CD part, yep. For me, it's a Sega product yet again. They're really ahead of their time for a lot of things, but with the Dreamcast, it was the first ever time you had internet connection and internet multiplayer, and that blew my mind. And you didn't even have to have, even though it was dial-up at the time, and every time you turn it on your computer, you hear that for like 20 minutes as AOL tried to connect. It was mind-blowing. It didn't have that sound. It was almost immediate. And you could play with friends, and it also had its own web browser, and then you could get a keyboard to hook up to it and use it as your own personal computer. I thought that was like, wow, space age at the time, but now it's, yeah.
I can't think, because to be fair, I've been baked way too many that last. So, I've played. I don't know. I can't think of anything that like
your
really
Elite
jumped
controller?
off the page for me. Oh yeah, my Elite controller, my giant magnet that weighs like 5 pounds, costs $200.
Oh, it doesn't weigh 5 pounds.
First of all, I was exaggerating. You should know that. And second of all, I'm pretty sure everybody else knows that it doesn't actually weigh 5 pounds also. But it is a giant magnet.
Huh. Oddly enough, I thought it would have been in the inflatable Antonio Banderas that came with the Oculus Rift game she got.
See, I thought that would have been hers too. The automatic vibrating vibrator. Automatic
right?
vibrating.
You know?
Everybody,
No,
now we know what they use on the weekends when we're not doing show because...
You leave Anthony Bananas alone. He has nothing to do with this. He's very sensitive.
That's what she said.
Is it because of you?
Yes. But be careful. The slightest little prick will make him pop.
The slightest little prick? You're right about that, Justin.
I was gonna say,
be careful.
He kind of fucked himself over.
Oh, you will learn very quickly I will not claim to have the biggest. That would mean I have all that extra blood. And I don't care what anybody thinks or says. There's a limit, goddammit. When you're impaling somebody, it's like, dude, you are rearranging organs, man. Come on.
When you are impaling somebody.
But the things he says to make himself feel better, but I digress. Another cool one that I thought was a cool idea that never panned out was the Power Glove, which I have on the picture. It would have been cool if it actually worked, and it was like really crazy to see as a kid in the Wizard movie, but man, that thing was shit, sadly.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm looking at all 3 of these. Oh, actually, I guess there's 4 in there. But anyway, I'm looking at the Oculus Rift, the Power Glove, and the little Wii stuff over there, and I'm thinking to myself, dear God, if all these were combined together for one fucking game.
It would almost look like a sex game, to be honest, with the Power Glove. And the Wii things are so phallic in nature.
Somebody walk in, but like, what are you doing?
Nothing. What's that look for?
Like the old weed commercials where like somebody's sister's deflated on the couches, like they're in they can't hear you. They have surround sound on. They're experiencing gaming at its fullest peak.
Yeah, at the peak.
Gaming is not even a one-time drug. What? Nothing.
So what is the, since we're talking about this, what is the worst accessory or function to a video game that you've ever seen? I got one right here. The NES little, I can't remember what it's called, but it was the Dance Dance Revolution things that you'd put on the ground and play games with.
Yes.
The Dance Dance games. They tried one of those with the NES, but not for dancing games, but for actual Mario and platformers and this and that.
Oh my god!
It was so horrible.
I know what you're talking about.
I would say the worst accessory is that little Tony Hawk skateboard that they added with one of the new, one of the. It's older. But it was one of those Tony Hawk skateboarding games, and they were like, "Here, you can actually stand up on a board and be a skate." I'm sorry, I watched one of my cousins buy one of those. He got on it and he was like, "Oh my god, I can skateboard!" So his dad bought him a skateboard and broke his leg. I laughed my fucking ass off.
That game was just non-functional to begin with, let alone that goddamn skateboard.
Right?
I feel like anything that has to do with anything remotely like that was too even with the Wii Fit. I don't feel like the board of the Wii Fit went.
As that's mentioned in chat, nice timing.
Right. I mean, it's true though.
I'm holding my phone like an actual. My headset's, but hey.
No. Go back.
I don't know. I had called Remo earlier. My wife mentioned the PlayStation iToy or whatever. That was basically a Kinect before a Kinect was a thing.
Never even heard of it.
Oh, that little wand thing?
No, that was the Move. That was the PlayStation Move. That was the Wii remote for PlayStation.
Wait, was that the little ball webcam?
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't feel like it was up to par with Kinect.
No, it's not. It was a very rough draft in the first attempt at it, but I feel like that iToy, I wanted one so bad, and then come to find out, my would-be future brother-in-law had one, and I tried it out, and after about 10 minutes into the game, I was like, this is all right. I feel really dumb, and if this is hooked to the internet, I feel like I'm being watched because this is just terrible.
Sadly, what was one of the best fucking accessories was for the Wii U to play the old Super Smash. Was to hook up the goddamn GameCube controller and actually play it right.
And I think the big game pads that remind you of the arcade game pads, I think those are some of the cooler accessories.
Definitely,
it doesn't
best
take
for
my top
games.
spot on accessories, but I think it was one of the cooler accessories.
Definitely, you can still get a couple of those for more modern consoles. Which, if you're really into fighting games, it's the way to go. Sure.
Oh yeah, I was watching a Tekken tournament the other day, and everybody had one of those. Nobody played with a controller, so.
My friend Mike, who's helping me, who's teaching me Tekken, because he's gone to tournaments, has one. And he's getting me one for mine. It's like, shit, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait I'm going to have to get me one for the new King of Fighters that's coming out. You guys see the new demo for that? King of Fighters 18?
Yes.
Can't wait to put on some Terry Bogard and kick some major ass. But yeah.
Just real quick, I want to throw out there another thing that we didn't mention that I feel gets swept under the rug a lot is the invention of turbo controllers going all the way back to the Super Nintendo. The oldest console I had that had a turbo controller.
They had some, I think, for the NES, actually.
I'm not doubting it. It's just the oldest console I had was the Super, and I had that, and would play my brother, and somehow he would always end up with it while we were playing Street Fighter, and his fucking E-Honda looked like that damn hand move regularly, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm not playing this against you.
One of the worst controllers, though, I'll bring this up right before we move on, was for the Atari. That one with all the goddamn... it was Atari, I think, 5200, or was it the Atari 7600? Where it had all those goddamn buttons like a telephone, literally numbered like a telephone, too. It was like, what the fuck?
76.